Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with Nvidia Daily Analysis. Nvidia dropped about 2% today, but there are reasons behind it. We'll discuss them in this video. Also, we'll try to make an assessment for rest of the week in this video using latest fundamentals and technical charts. Now, let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, Nvidia opened at 129.99. It made a high 133.49. It made a low of 129.51 and it closed at 133.23, and that is 1.97% down. So it's not just Nvidia. The other tech stocks also were under pressure today. Let's take a look Nasdaq. So you see that Nasdaq was down about 0.38%, and Nasdaq contains most of the tech stocks in the index. So that's a good reflection of how tech stocks are performing. In my watch list, if you can take a look, so most of the stocks in my watch list were red today, with the exception of AMD, Avago, and Tesla. And there are two reasons behind it, in my opinion. The number one reason is the new rules and regulation by Biden administration regarding AI chip export. And this was kind of expected, as I mentioned in my previous video, that market could be under pressure because of this new regulation. So it will take a day or two for the market to digest the news. Probably starting tomorrow or mid of the week, Nvidia should make some recovery. And the other reason is the inflation data that is due on Wednesday. And I'll discuss more about CPI data in my tomorrow's video. So you see here, the inflation data can impact Fed rate cut plan for this year. So that's again a big news for the market if inflation comes higher than expected. So moving back to Nvidia, last 5 days, Nvidia is still down about 10.29%, and last 1 year, Nvidia up about 136%. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia at this point. Nvidia forward P at this point is at 38.51, slightly down from Friday closing, but not much, and is still close to a 40 forward PE at this point. Whenever Nvidia goes below 40 forward PE, historically speaking, it could not sustain for a long time and it had to come back. So you see that in last probably 8 or 9 weeks, whenever Nvidia went below 40, it started recovering and it did not go too low, 38, 37, 39. Okay. And last 6 or 7 weeks still above 40 or around 40. So based on the forward P, yes, Nvidia can go down a little bit more if possible, but eventually it should start recovering anytime soon before the earnings. Now let's take a look quarterly percentage change analysis for Nvidia. So based on the quarterly percentage change on the cumulative basis, Nvidia is down about 7.75% from the previous earnings report, and last quarter Nvidia went below about 12.8% from one quarter prior earnings report. So Nvidia still has some more room to go further down to touch about 12%, and that would translate to about 127 or 126 price for Nvidia, right? And that was a minimum for this quarter so far as well. So that will be a very strong support. And on the upper side, Nvidia has lots of potential to go further up before the earnings. Once this news, the AI chip regulation regarding export cools down, we should expect Nvidia to start recovering. And that takes probably a day or two, right? Historically speaking. Now let's take a look at technical chart for Nvidia. You see 90-day hourly interval chart for NVIDIA on your screen. I won't take too much time on the technical chart because I already went over in my weekly analysis video. So at this point, nothing has changed. The next level of support is 127, and after that the resistance is 133.57. So Nvidia was able to break 133 today, but it was not able to go down to 127. So if it goes to 127, probably that would be a very good buy for Nvidia to keep it for some time until the earnings. On the upper side, the resistance 141.28. If it's get broken, then the next level of resistance is the all-time high, that is 153.74. And also based on the MACD, you see that the curve started going up. It was down this morning, so that's a good sign. So we can expect, based on MACD, some recovery tomorrow. Now let's take a look some news regarding Nvidia. So today most of the news are talking about Biden's new regulation and also the inflation report. For example, this one that talks about Biden's latest AI rules sink chip stocks. A Trump rally could be next. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Probably by the end of this week, the focus of the market would be the Trump inauguration, right? So starting next week, Trump will take the office, new regulation and new changes Trump can bring in after he takes the office from next week. So now one price target regarding Nvidia, and it is 185, and that is from HSBC. So they lowered the price target but still 185 for Nvidia, and that makes sense. So and 185 is still too high for me for next 1 or 2 quarters. So you see another news regarding Biden chip export from barons.com, and another one that is here is stocks fall on US export restriction. Now let's take a look this one that's regarding Taiwan Semiconductor, and that says that the chip production is started in Arizona, and that targets about 11.4 billion Q4 profit, and that's a good thing for Nvidia in the long term. That would ease some pressure on TSMC to support AI chip demand. So you see that now Nvidia is trying to convince Trump that Trump should undo the new chip export regulation. I heard some news from some other sources as well that Nvidia is trying to, you know, and I heard this news from other sources as well that Nvidia is trying to, work with Trump to come up with a better regulation or maybe change this regulation that just got implemented. So I don't see any other news or analysis regarding Nvidia other than the chip regulation and also, some inflation. Let's take a look the economic data due this week. So regarding the economic data for this week, Tuesday is important. That's tomorrow. That's core PPI and the PPI. And also Wednesday we have core CPI and the CPI. I'll make a detailed video on CPI probably tomorrow. I'll go over the historical data as well. Thursday, nothing much, and Friday, also nothing much. So, again, I want to reiterate that if the CPI data comes higher than the forecast, that would be another blow to the market and Nvidia. You can expect another few percent drop on Nvidia if that happens. So, that's all about my analysis regarding Nvidia for today and rest of the week. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.